Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephen Venuti. I'm one of the Trust Fund Commissioners, and we'd like to welcome you to our annual Kimball Morrison Awards Ceremony. Trust Fund Commission has been doing this since 1997, and it's something we look forward to doing every year. And we're giving out $60,000 tonight to 16 recipients, and that will bring our total that we've given out to over $725,000 since we started. So we're well on our way to hitting that million mark in a few years, so we can't wait for that one. Just a couple of introductions before we start. This is Fred Faulkner. He's chair of the Trust Fund Commissioners and also a member of the selection committee. And we have Melinda Hobart. She's the chair of the selection committee. Stephen Gentili, Mary Herndon. Betsy Bowling is a Trust Fund Commissioner. Aaron Morse is on the selection committee, and the town treasurer is Robin Healy, and you should really get to know Robin because she's the one who's handling all the checks. Okay? So with that, I'll turn it over to Fred to get us started.
Thank you, Steve. Trust Fund Commission is an elected three-member board who, along with Robin Healy, the town treasurer, are responsible for setting the investment strategy, monitoring the portfolio, and deciding on how much money each of the trust funds can afford to give out on an annual basis. This year, we've got 15 trust funds that we oversee, and we were able to allocate $150,000 out to the various activities that the trust funds dedicate. We have 5 of the trust funds that go to scholarships. $40,000 has gone to the Littleton Scholarship Trust, and $60,000 will be given out tonight, so we're giving out $100,000 in scholarships this year alone. There are 7 trust funds that specifically say that the money should be used for school projects, and we're giving out $40,000 to a school project to create a quote, mindful space in the Russell Street School, where kids with autism and other learning disabilities, if they're having a tough time in class, can go to basically a quiet space under supervision, obviously, where they can regather themselves to the point where they can then come back into the classroom rather than being put in a quiet corner in the classroom. So that's a $40,000 investment that trust funds have funding. We're also had approximately $4,000 go to the Lyceum, Littleton Lyceum. If any of you aren't aware of it, Littleton has the longest continuous running Lyceum in the country. And they basically put on 4 to 5 culture events a year. And most of the programs that I've been to are really fun. They put together thoughtful programs, and if you're not aware of it or you haven't availed yourself of it, you really should. It's a sort of a hidden gem within Littleton. And we also had one fund which is stated to be for the benefit of animals, and the way we handle that is the EHS department works with people who have trouble paying for their veterinary bills, and once they're vetted through the system at the Elder and Human Services Department, they will help with mostly the elderly people pay for veterinary bills, but not only the elderly, but the trust funds are basically cast a pretty broad spectrum across the town. And we're really pleased to be able to do that this year. Tonight, we're gathered for, in my mind, 2 reasons. First, obviously, is to honor this year's scholarship easy for me to say, recipients from the F.M. Kimball Second Scholarship Fund and the John C. and Eunice B. Morrison Scholarship Fund. The second reason is to pay homage to Littleton's agricultural roots through these two families' commitment to farming in Littleton, their community service, and paying it forward through their trust funds. As we look at the scholarship applications, the scholarship committee, and we had around 50 scholarship applications this year, we basically look at 4 pillars. One obviously is academic achievement. One is communication skills, and for all of the applicants, we see their written application. And for the applicants that were able to come in and talk to us, we actually see their and listen to their verbal skills as well. Community service, which was really big for both Vin Cooper and the Morrisons, is a pillar that we look at. And then obviously financial need. If there's a tiebreaker or whatever, we do look at financial need. Vin Cooper was a lifelong resident in Littleton. He had his college tuition paid for by his uncle, F.M. Kimball. After graduating from Massachusetts Agricultural College in Amherst, he returned to Littleton, where he led a storied life. I almost said fabled, but I backed off and said storied life. Any of you that knew Vin. Storied life as a lifelong farmer, a philosopher, and a philanthropist. Vin, during his lifetime, gave a lot of money to certainly Reuben Hoare Library, was one of the recipients of his money. His photograph or his painting is up in the lobby of the library now. And as a philosopher, he was the author of, I'm drawing a blank on the title, Memoirs from the Snake Pit. And if that intrigues any of you, there are 5 or 6 copies of different editions of the Snake Pit up in the library, and the Historic Commission also has them. They're really fascinating sort of mirror into his being, where he'll give you an anecdote of his younger life, a poem he wrote, his thoughts on what's wrong with what's going on in the town, with, not sugar-coated. So he was quite a character, and it's kind of an interesting read. John and Eunice Morrison relocated to Littleton later in life. John had a successful professional career as in the Metro Boston area, and retired to the, quote, picturesque rural community of Littleton after purchasing the Nagog Hill orchard. Though Vince Cooper and John and Eunice Morrison took different paths to their successful farms in Littleton, their generosity and foresight is why we're here tonight. And as Steve mentioned, giving out almost $1 million out of the trust funds that these people and a couple other people have given to the town is pretty amazing. With that, I'd like to have Aaron Morse come up to introduce our guest speaker for the evening.
Thank you, Fred. And thank you for talking about the Lyceum and the money that goes towards the EHS. I think everybody here learned something new already, so that was great. What I would like to do is actually introduce a former recipient, Abby Lalieve, and she's going to come on up here and give us a little talk about some of her experiences she's been going through. So come on up.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Abby Lalieve, and before I begin, I just want to say thank you to you all for being here tonight, and congratulations on winning the award. And especially thank you to the Kimball Morrison Committee, and for all of your time and dedication to helping all the Littleton grads and alumni. So now a little information about myself. and my journey these past few years. I graduated from Littleton High School in 2020, which was during the height of the COVID pandemic. After graduation, I started college at Massachusetts Maritime Academy, where I will be graduating from at the end of June with a bachelor's degree in emergency management. Thank you. Thank you. Through the connections and networking opportunities that I was able to gain at Mass Maritime, I just got a job with a construction company, which I just started at the beginning of June. I was hired as a special projects engineer, so I just recently started that. Senior year of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do after graduation. I didn't know if I should go to college. I am the oldest of 4 children and a first-generation college student in my family. So going to college was a different route that we didn't have any experience with. I worried because of how expensive college is, and I thought about other options like joining the military, but at that time I didn't think I was ready to sign a 4-year contract. Both choices were really big decisions for an 18-year-old at that time. Then I found Mass Maritime, and I had no interest initially. For those of you that don't know, Mass Maritime is a regimented college, meaning it wasn't exactly the typical college experience that you would think of. Freshman year, there are daily room inspections, mandatory study hours, 7 a.m. morning formation, and marching. There is lots of marching in all weather, every morning, all winter of the semester. But at the advice of my lovely mother, I applied to Mass Maritime and got accepted. After that, I was able to go on a tour, and I loved the school. I loved the location, and when I was getting the tour, there was a student who seemed so mature, and just seeing how they all dressed with their uniforms and such, they spoke so well and interacted with others with such confidence. I knew that I wanted to be just like these students. So I knew it was a big financial commitment to accept the offer at Mass Maritime, but I knew I'd find a way to make it work. At Mass Maritime, the regiment continues all 4 years throughout school, but as you begin to become an upperclassman, you can take on different leadership positions. So my junior year, I applied and was chosen to become a squad leader within my company. And this was definitely one of the most important decisions I made at my 4 years at school. The position of being a squad leader requires helping mentor and guide the other cadets in the company. It opened my eyes to the importance of helping others gain confidence and the importance of communication and working as a team. While at Mass Maritime, I was able to join the Coast Guard Auxiliary Program. This is essentially just an extra class at school, but it was able to give me insight to the Coast Guard and different opportunities that it offered. And I'll be honest, at first, the Coast Guard Auxiliary was just a program that I decided to join because it would look good on my resume and it was a good networking opportunity. But after speaking to both enlisted members and officers, I was able to hear of all the different opportunities and ways that I could help others if I were to enlist in the Coast Guard Reserves. So my junior year, I did just that. And I went to basic training in New Jersey during the winter semester of my junior year. And after being at a regimented college for 2.5 years, really, I felt like I had been prepared living in that regimental atmosphere during college. I quickly found out I was not prepared for basic, as nobody can. I was very wrong. It was similar to the movies, as you have seen, and was not fun at all. After basic, I got to see the more positive side of the Coast Guard, where I attended A School, which is just specialty training, in Yorktown, Virginia, to become a boatswain's mate. So here, I was reminded why I joined the Coast Guard, which was to help people. We did all sorts of training, which included water survival to man overboard trainings to towing a downed vessel. Of course, by attending a maritime school, I had learned about the maritime culture and that I had always enjoyed being on the water. So boatswain's mate was definitely a good fit for me, and I was very happy being able to be in the Coast Guard and being able to help others. With that being said, the best thing I did during these past 4 years in college and in the Coast Guard was just being able to get out of my comfort zone and seek out all the experience I could get in learning new things and just getting new opportunities. I am unbelievably lucky to experience all that since graduating high school. I was able to focus my time on college, Coast Guard, and college sports, thanks to the help received from the Kimball Morrison Scholarship. I have grown and learned so much over the past 4 years and am beyond eager to see what the future holds. I appreciate you all listening to my story, and again, I am just beyond grateful to have had the help from the Kimball Morrison Scholarship to make it all happen. I wouldn't have been able to do it without. So thank you all for having me here tonight, and thank you for the support.
Without further ado, we'll get to the awards. And thank you very much, Abby, and for everyone else. I'm going to introduce 3 people, 2 of whom cannot be here tonight. But our tradition is to present each winner, and then even if they can't be here. So let's start with Alexandra George. She can't be here tonight because she has a pretty heavy work schedule. But I want to tell you about what a stellar student she is. I mean, she's a previous winner, and she's really, each year she's come back and made us realize what an outstanding person she is and how much capacity she has for continued growth and reflection, as well as, overcoming the challenges that people have pretty naturally as they head into adulthood. So this year, she's been working herself probably into a tizzy, doing, work at University of Vermont. And what she's been focusing on is volunteering at the University of Vermont Children's Hospital, giving emotional support and entertaining families and patients. And then she's also been working as a medical assistant. This is all in addition to her schoolwork. But she's been working as a medical assistant at a radiology department and learning how to give the best care possible to people who are really at a very anxious time of their lives. This is, pretty outstanding stuff. And she's done this because she really believes in giving back to the community. And, she is gathering background for what she wants to do is become a doctor of some sort. She wants to go to medical school. So we would like to offer her again a scholarship from the John and Eunice Morrison Scholarship Fund. Congratulations, Lexi. So second, we've got Paige Hornbeck. She is not here this evening because she has already started her internship as a structural engineer up in New Hampshire, and it's too far to come down. She is also another previous winner, and I think her parents might be here. Hello. So it's wonderful that you could come in and listen for a few seconds here. So Paige has been taking advantage of everything that the University of New Hampshire has to offer. Not only has she been taking really difficult courses in engineering, such as engineering materials and fluid mechanics, which I don't know what that is, but but she's also made time to help other students as a tutor at the Mechanics Help Center. And she also, this year, she studied in Edinburgh, Scotland. Giving herself the opportunity to learn about different cultures, but also to learn about how different cultures have different perspectives on engineering. So she really, it can be hard to do this, to go out of your comfort zone, out into a different culture, but also to mesh that with the kind of studies that she has to do in order to graduate. So it's a good thing to hear that she was so busy this year and successful. So we would like to offer her a John and Eunice Morrison Scholarship Fund scholarship, and congratulations, and we hope that her future endeavors are just as successful. Okay. So next up, we actually have a real person who's here. Shelby Jean, if you could come up. You get to stand right here so that your face is excellent. Thank you so much. Shelby just has graduated from high school. Yeah, graduated from Littleton High School and will be attending the University of Massachusetts Amherst. She's pursuing a career in secondary art education and art history, which is great. She really impressed us with her honesty, her passion for the subject she's going to be studying, and how she's overcome challenges in the past couple of years. After COVID-19 and some family challenges, her freshman year, honestly, was kind of lackluster. But she set herself a goal to turn this around in her sophomore year. She set goals, she made friends, she got involved being as a leader in social organizations. So she made a real effort to become the student that she wanted to be. And she also took a lot of art classes and took every single bit of information that the teachers could give and made a decision about what she wants to do in the future. While she was doing that, she also led the Littleton High School drama productions to success and showed us, with what she's been doing, that she has grown, she has perseverance, and she has grit. And everything, all of that will be combined to make her successful in the next couple of years. So we would like to offer her a scholarship from the John and Eunice Morrison Fund, and we expect to hear from her more about all the great stuff she's doing. Congratulations. So Stephen Gentili will come up and do some great stuff. Thank you.
Well, before I call up the first recipient, let me first say thank you to Abby. It's a wonderful story. It's just beginning. And I'm sure your story resonated with people sitting in this room. It's nice to know when we made a good choice multiple times. And it's clear that you've carried the Kimball Morrison banner so well. Thank you very much. Now, who shall we call? Ella. Ella Geardy. Thank you. Ella is a 2024 graduate of LHS and will be entering her freshman year at the University of South Carolina this fall. In some ways, Ella's career path was paved for her long before this moment in time. You see, both of Ella's grandmothers were nurses, and they both saw qualities in Ella that as a child that they thought were fundamental to making a good nurse. They called it the heart of a nurse. And when time came for Ella to make a career decision, she followed her heart and her desire in some small way to pay back the nurses that took care of her as a 10-year-old frightened girl that needed emergency eye surgery. Nurses that showed her the compassion, comfort, and strength to get through this scary time. And while Ella has a long way to go before her own pinning ceremony, her compassion and empathy have been on full display in many ways during her time at LHS. During her freshman year, changed dramatically by COVID, Ella led a community service project that connected LHS students with the town's senior population via a pen pal program. Through her involvement in the National Honor Society, Ella performed numerous volunteer activities for the Loaves and Fishes Food Pantry and raised $4,000 with friends through countless bake sales for the Rise Against Hunger organization, a growing global movement to end hunger by empowering communities, nourishing lives, and responding to emergencies. Ella's work ethic is off the charts, and this student athlete has a 4.92 GPA. Did I get that right? 492? Excuse me. 494. It went up her last semester. Need I say more? She credits her teachers, Miss Berlinger and Miss Kern, specifically for their support at Littleton High School. With the heart of a nurse, Ella is well on her way to fulfilling that dream. Please join me in congratulating Miss Ella Gearty on her Kimball Scholarship Award. Don't think we have anybody representing Catherine Hohenschel tonight, or do we? I won't make them stand up even if they are here. All right, let me say this about Catherine. Our candidates may not know that we rank them after their interviews, but I'll expose our secret now when talking about Catherine because she had one of the highest post-interview scores of all the candidates that we met with. Personable, high energy, leader-like qualities, and well-organized is what struck me about Catherine's interview. Come to think of it, they all sound like pretty good qualities needed to become a successful elementary education teacher. Catherine is a straight A student entering her 4th year at Bridgewater State University. And the reason she can't join us tonight is she's enrolled in an accelerated program at BSU that will allow her to complete all of her elementary education requirements, including her MTEL tests, with a focus on STEM subjects for English language learners. Like I said, high energy. When she's not in the classroom, Catherine's busy with her student teaching, substitute teaching in Littleton, an active member of the Education Club community, holding an executive board role on the Pan-Hellenic Affairs chapter, and giving campus tours to prospective students. When I asked a fellow selection committee member about their impressions of Catherine, this is what she said. I saw her as one of the most enthusiastic candidates regarding their major and chosen career path. She's extremely strong on community and communication. She came to the interview well prepared and differentiated herself among the group. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Catherine Hohenschel on her Morrison Award Scholarship. Back-to-back absentees, but with good reason. You know, you kind of see that these award winners are a little bit busy doing some great things as young adults. Tanya Rizzi. Tanya's no stranger to the selection committee as she's entering her 4th year at George Washington University, and this is her 4th consecutive scholarship award. So you think by now we'd know Tanya pretty well. But I have to tell you, it's not easy to keep up with her. This high-energy chemistry major and all of her extracurricular activities and her volunteerism. Not only is it a challenge to keep up with, but at times even difficult to understand. Here's a perfect example. This summer, Tanya applied for and received a job at George Washington's FSC FTDR MS lab, conducting research in analytical and physical chemistry. Sounds great, right? So you try to understand and pronounce what all of this means. Simple stuff. Stay with me. Just some fast scanning, calorimetry, fast thermal desorption, reaction mass spectrometry, and physical vapor deposition techniques. I don't know. And if you're thinking Tanya probably has little time in her day maintaining a 3.5 GPA, studying the elements that make up the world and ways in which matter undergo change, think again. Tanya has a minor in music and studies music theory in the classroom. And out of the classroom, she has a job working in the school's facilities department. And Tanya is a member of George Washington Symphonic Band and the university's pep band, affectionately known as the Foghorns. That's got to take up all her time. She's done, right? No, somehow, she has time to leave the campus, engage with her surrounding community, and works to make that community a better place by volunteering at the Hyattsville VFD. That's an easy one, Volunteer Fire Department. As an EMT, a sous chef for Miriam's Kitchen, preparing some of the kitchen's 84,000 meals a year with a mission to end chronic homelessness in the DC area. Like me, you're probably out of breath just thinking about how Tanya gets it all accomplished. On behalf of the entire committee, we wish Tanya all the best as she pursues her master's degree in forensic sciences and congratulate Tanya on her 2024 Morrison Scholarship Award. Now I have a live one. And she knows who she is. Miss Kivlin, Jenna Kivlin, for those of you that don't know her. Right there. Be quiet. I'm sure that most of you sitting here tonight are aware, as Fred mentioned, that an interview with the selection committee is one of the last steps in our selection process. After each of the individual interviews were conducted, I attempted to summarize in a single word what one particular candidate set one particular candidate apart from the next, or what characteristic I thought this young adult possessed. And for Jenna, I wrote one word: fighter. Jenna worked really hard in high school. She had a solid plan entering Simmons University. Things did not come easy for Jenna in college, and she found herself in a place quite foreign to her, excuse me, as it relates to school and grades. She questioned her choice of major. She even contemplated whether college was right for her at this time. So, Jenna had some choices to make, and in typical Jenna fashion, she faced them head on. She relied partly on her experience working at Pegasus House, an addiction treatment center for women. She summoned her inner strength displayed during her daily CrossFit workouts and trainings for clients. And she was smart enough to rely on her family, her lifelong support system. And even when Jenna wasn't on the top of her game academically, she fought for a new employment opportunity as a CrossFit trainer at the premier CrossFit facility in Boston. Yep, she got the job. An unparalleled achievement for an 18-year-old college freshman at this facility. And in part, she got the job by telling them that no one would work harder than her to meet their client training standards. Jenna fought through it all. Her grades improved. She's taking classes in the fall with an eye towards a new major, and will take advantage of the courses offered by the Colleges of the Fenways Collaborative. Jenna's hard work can be summarized by a quote attributed to Roger Crawford, a D1 athlete with severe disabilities, who said, "Being challenged in life is inevitable. Being defeated is optional." Please join me in congratulating Miss Jenna Kivlin as a Morrison Award Scholarship. Next up, my fellow selection committee member, Aaron Morse.
Oh, thank you, Steve, for making me cry before I had to do this. So, my first recipient is also not here tonight, and that would be John Richards. John cannot be here as he is enjoying himself, I assume, in Europe right now, so good. He is a recent graduate of Littleton and will be going to Montana State University in the fall. In addition to being a very well-rounded student academically, John has been part of many groups, different activities at both LHS as well as within our community, such as the Chorus Club, Jazz Band, the Great Road Church Youth Group, and the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary Training. I will say, however, one of his proudest moments was being able to row at the head of the Charles Regatta in Boston, in case you didn't know where that was. At MSU, he will be studying civil engineering and paleontology. Side note, when we met with John, he came in with a very nice button-down shirt on, covered with dinosaurs. It was fantastic. So while seeing his father's commitment to service and duty, John does plan on entering a career as a search and rescue helicopter pilot in the U.S. Air Force. John, on behalf of the selection committee, we are proud to be offering you this scholarship and to be helping you with your 35-year life plan path. See, that 35-year life plan path is like an inside joke, but he's not here, so it doesn't really ring out and make it funny at all. But let's all congratulate John. All right, the next person I get to talk about is, where are you? Lily Doucette, come up here. All right, so Lily is another recent graduate of Littleton and basically an academic overachiever. Despite injuries, she has been playing soccer year-round for a very long time, and prior to graduating, she had been an essential piece of our ladies' varsity Tiger team. You'll also see her smiling face working at Teamworks because soccer is in her blood. Whether you've realized or not, however, you have been a mentor to many of our young Tiger female athletes that are out there, especially obviously within soccer. Years ago, all the way back in 2021, Littleton Soccer was short on parent volunteers, and Lily, as well as another LHS graduate, and I believe also a recipient of one of our awards, actually stepped up and volunteered to coach the Littleton girls under 10 travel team. For those of you who have volunteered for soccer with under 10, that's a lot. So I did look at the picture of all those girls with you guys today in fact, and all of those girls, with the exception of one, are still playing soccer. So you should absolutely be taking some credit for that. So Lily is going to head to RIT this fall to major in neurosciences and has already taken the opportunity to participate in some of the virtual sessions with one of the professors out there. There's no secret to your excitement. I believe you've already visited the campus. It was 5 times when we first met with you. Have you gone more? Okay. Hopefully you visit home as often when you go. But it is only June, so she's probably going to be up there a few more times. We are very excited that you want to bring your passion of volunteering and community involvement to RIT's world. We are sure that while you're at college, you're going to continue to make your family proud by dominating at all of the cornhole games that you'll be playing out there. So, Lily, on behalf of the selection committee, we are very proud to be offering this scholarship and glad to be part of your journey.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. O'Meara, Kaylin, where are you? You're up. All right, for those of you who follow along at home and watch a lot of LCTV, you'll recognize Kaylin as she was here last year, and we are lucky enough to be able to meet with her again this year. This fall will be Kaylin's second year at Emerson, and she is majoring in marketing. When Kaylin graduated from LHS, she left as an athlete and as an overall exceptional student, and when she kicked off her freshman year at Emerson, it was the same thing. You earned your spot on the soccer team, and then you earned a spot on the basketball team, just as you did when you played for Littleton years ago. Not that long ago, but years ago. And then you continued to excel academically in addition to that. So with the sports and academics, you've also worked multiple jobs, which is a lot. When you do begin your career in the future, I know your goal is to help push for gender equality and social justice, which is super important. Leaving the bubble of Littleton, multiple sports, academics, developing a whole new social network of people to trust and support you. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot all at once. It's a ton. And you crushed it. You absolutely killed it this year. And you should really be very proud of yourself for all those things. So that is a lot. Your desire to make the world a better place around your career choice is absolutely inspirational. So, Kaylin, on behalf of the selection committee, we are very proud to be offering you this.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to bring up Mary Herndon to talk more.
All right, Jasmine Casey. So one of the really impressive things that we see on the selection committee is the way the kids in Littleton, the young adults in Littleton, are dedicated to service in the community. We see a really good track record of giving back and volunteering. Jasmine, however, exemplifies this. Long before she was probably thinking about, what she needed to put on her college application, when she was just 10 years old, she started going to Haiti on mission trips. She's learned valuable lessons working in the orphanage there, building relationships, relating to people. When we interviewed her, she credited her teachers with helping her overcome some of her struggles, such as with dyslexia, entering a new school during a pandemic, and getting the confidence to do things like take up competitive running and even become the team captain. She will be attending Gordon. She's planning to take the 5-year bachelor's, master's program in teaching. And she's already started on the path of becoming a teacher. She's taking an unpaid internship at Shaker Lane for the 2nd grade classroom. We think Jasmine's going to be a wonderful role model and teacher, and look forward to seeing you continue to flourish while you're in college. And on behalf of the selection committee, congratulations. Next is Clarice Carter. I don't know if there's anyone here to accept for Clarice. Clarice isn't here, but she has a family member here. But let me tell you a little bit about Clarice. Her academic record was really impressive. She made the principal's list every year, taking a very broad array of classes, including art history, financial algebra, and fashion and design. But despite taking a wide range of courses, Clarice really impressed us as being very laser focused on what she wants to do in college. She's going to the University of New England in Maine, majoring in marine biology. Her interest with that program came from the ability to study both saltwater and freshwater environments, perform field research, as well as do modeling, and even work in robotics for some of the undersea vehicles. She's already volunteering for the Nashua River Watershed Association, collecting samples and measuring water temperatures and looking for things like E. coli. So again, she's very focused. She knows exactly what she wants to do. She's very enthusiastic about becoming a marine biologist, but she's approaching it in such a way that she's really taking this very broad, well-rounded approach to her education. And so I'd just like to congratulate Clarice on her scholarship and wish her the best of luck at University of New England. And again, our students are really, really busy people. Eliza Bean could not be here tonight. Eliza has a really fantastic track record of artistic pursuits. Her endeavors include guitar, singing, songwriting, painting, film production, and most prominently, probably, the theater. She's been a choreographer and stage manager at the Cannon Theater, and she recently starred in Alice by Heart as Alice. While volunteering at Cannon, she's had the opportunity to work on a lot of children's productions as a director, choreographer, and we think probably a very, very good role model. Helping kids grow and thrive is part of the reason Eliza wants to plan to major in child psychiatry. She's passionate about promoting the importance of mental health in children and raising awareness, removing the stigma of mental health issues so that people get the help they need. She had a true spark that really left, I think, a very positive impression on all of us at the review committee. And with that, we know she's going to do great things and would like to congratulate Eliza. And with that, I'll introduce Fred Faulkner back up.
I'm like a bad penny. I keep showing up. So we have Catherine. Catherine Anjorian. Take a deep breath. Okay. Catherine's growth and performance during her 4 years at LHS are unarguable. As a three-sport athlete, she honed her athletic skills while growing into a leader and a mentor for her teammates, as well as younger, aspiring athletes around the area. As a classmate, she was a member of the National Honor Society and chair of the Charitable Fundraising Committee, where they rose close to $6,000 for various causes. She was a strong member of the Student Council and did seem to enjoy her time in the jazz band. All this, along with her academic performance, earning her a 4.83, no, yes, close, okay, 4.83 GPA. Didn't want to get sandbagged the way Steve did. Has her well positioned for a matriculation to Providence College in the fall. Catherine plans to study biology and organic chemistry as they relate to neuroscience. She aspires to a research position in the ever-changing and mystifying field of neuroscience. Please join me in recognizing Catherine Anjorian and receiving a Eunice and John Morrison Scholarship. Nadia Dupuy. Nadia is a recent graduate of Littleton High School, where she was a National Honor Society student, earning a 4.78 GPA. One of her major contributions in student life was writing for the LHS Press since she was a sophomore, as well as being editor-in-chief this past year. Nadia is an impressive list of community service activities, which include Deb's Beds, an organization that actually manufactures beds for young people that need them, and delivering and assembling them, working at local community suppers and at Loaves and Fishes. She spends hours and hours on the ice, 6 days a week, as a matter of fact, which is normal for a competitive figure skater at her level. The journey has taken her from stroking and crossovers it took to earn her ISIA Alpha badge to the multiple revolution jumps, spins, and combinations to earn her USFSA newly named pre-silver designation. Which this says a lot about her commitment, determination, and skill level. Not only as a figure skater, but as a bright young woman entering the next stage of her academic career. Nadia will be entering the University of Connecticut in the fall, majoring in communications with a concentration on business marketing and public relations. Please join me in wishing Nadia smooth ice as she goes forward. And last but certainly not least, Emmy Richards. Emmy's a grizzled veteran of this, so this is nothing new to her. And as I saw her walking in, I'm going off script here. As I saw her walking in, I remember as her going into her freshman year, she won an award as a graduate from Littleton High School. And after the photo shoot, we were standing around chatting, and out of the corner of my eye, I caught Emmy and her mom going up the stairs. And I called out to her and I said, "Emmy, make us proud." Without missing a step, she just gave me a thumbs up and kept going. And she certainly has done that. She's really been well accomplished over the years, and we're really happy to have her as a multiple-time winner. Emmy is a multiple-time winner of the Kemble Morrison Scholarship. She is in the Global Studies program, which is a very selective, accelerated 3-year bachelor's program at American University, where she's carrying a 3.98. It was a 4.0, but she sloughed off. Her major is international studies, along with minors in literature, Spanish, and she has a Spanish translation certificate. This past year, she finished a research project for which, and this is a quote, "I was selected to represent American University as a delegate to present my research on legitimizing political discourse on femicide in Mexico at the National Conference of Undergraduate Research in April of 2024. Unquote. As if all this wasn't enough to keep Emmy busy, she volunteers to tutor underprivileged elementary students at the Latino Student Fund, along with teens and adults at the Washington English Center, which she is a co-teacher for ESL students. I could go on and on about her extracurricular activities, but the one that intrigued me was her being the beatbox of the much acclaimed Trouble in Paradise a cappella group at American University. And unfortunately, we're running short on time, or would have you demonstrate, but you let that go, okay. Please join me in congratulating Emmy Richards on being awarded a Eunice and John Morrison Scholarship. This concludes the presentation portion of our program tonight, and would like to give every winner a round of applause, and we'll close it out.